This is 6755 Peachtree Boulevard.
This place defrauded Medicare for $500 million. I mean, look at this place inside. It's completely empty. I don't know if you can see inside here, but this is just an empty room. There's nothing in here. But at a point, there was just a bunch of telemarketers all over this address, just calling people and telling them that they get free genetic testing, and then just charging a ton of money for fake tests that they didn't even need. You drive around places like this, these random buildings that you never think about. Who would have thought that in this building there was $500 million of fraud happening?
I used to actually drive through this exact road when I was 15 years old to go play tennis.
It's not like this is an old case. The guy just went to jail 3 weeks ago for 12 and a half years, and his partner got around 3 years. A $500 million ring run out of a single room proves exactly how vulnerable our public tax dollars really are. But an operation can only get this massive if it has a steady stream of data. Now, to see how these groups extract that information from everyday citizens, we had to look at the exact boiler room where these schemes are born.
We're standing in the middle of Duluth's call center corridor here in Gwinnett County.
This is a place where the FBI targets because there are highly sophisticated telemarketing scam call centers all around this area.
And the call centers played a key role in this entire scheme. They essentially were the bridge between the customer and the healthcare company. Fabian, what does that actually really mean?
And this is how the scheme works. Step 1. A call center buys a list of Medicare seniors. Names, addresses, ID numbers. These lists are sold commercially. Step 2. They call those seniors, pitching a medical device they didn't ask for, fully covered by Medicare. The senior says yes. Step 3. The call center fills out a prescription, pre-populated as if a doctor diagnosed the patient. Step 4. They pay a doctor to sign that prescription without ever seeing the patient. The doctor is paid per signed order. Step 5. An equipment supplier bills Medicare. Medicare pays, and the money flows back through the chain. The senior gets equipment they never needed.
Ari, a 29-year-old former refugee who is the COO of Centerlight Home Care, a company owned by his family, all presumably Bhutanese refugees, that has billed Ohio Medicaid nearly $17 million. His brother's company pulled in another $10 million. The family as a whole has received over $350 million in Medicaid payments. On social media, Rashawn calls himself an entrepreneur. I know some very wealthy entrepreneurs, but not any who've done so little for so much. He posts himself on social media drinking champagne on private jets, gifting his dad a Cadillac Escalade and his mom a Mercedes with your tax dollars. The father, Kadananda Adhikari, who owns one of the main companies, has failed to pay state taxes every year since 2022 and has multiple tax liens against him personally, while his businesses continue milking Medicaid for hundreds of millions of your tax dollars. 'Cause you know what? We all pay our taxes. Meanwhile, 81% of Bhutanese immigrants in America are on some form of welfare, the highest rate of any group, while the other 19% own the taxpayer-funded Medicaid companies that they all use. We brought them in as refugees, and now we are subsidizing their private jets while they dodge their taxes. Someone explained to me, why are we all going to work every day? I mean, other than self-respect and a moral code, like we're not thieves. At some point, this doesn't hold.
Have unearthed an explosive report. The 2022 document that I am holding is an 87-page report from the then acting state auditor in California, addressed directly to the governor of California, warning in no uncertain terms that the state's weak oversight of hospice agencies has created opportunities for large-scale abuse and fraud. That last part's a direct quote. Now look at this screenshot of the very first page of the audit, addressed to Governor Gavin Newsom. The subtitle warns of the extensive fraud plaguing California today. It cites fraud indicators found particularly in Los Angeles County. A rapid increase in the number of hospice agencies with no clear correlation to increased need. In fact, listen to this. The aged population increased 40% in California between 2010 and 2021, while the hospice agencies increased an astonishing 1,589%. Another indicator was the excessive geographic clustering of hospices, with sometimes dozens of separately licensed agencies located in the same building, and also abnormally high rates of still living patients discharged from hospice care, despite hospice typically offering care for people expected to live 6 months or less. And look at this. You won't believe it. They even gave Newsom a map. Quote, 210 active hospice agencies located within 1 mile of each other on Van Nuys in Los Angeles County. Now, did Gavin Newsom go to these locations? Did his government check out these buildings? This document reads like points from a Nick Shirley video. But no, these were the fraud warnings listed by the acting state auditor 4 years ago, leading him to conclude, quote, that a network or networks of individual perpetrators in Los Angeles County are engaging in a large and organized effort to defraud the Medicare and Medi-Cal hospice program.